There are two things I absolutely hate about using gimbals, and one of them is balancing the actual camera on the gimbal, and the second one is the weight of it. And the DJI RS3 Mini solves one of those problems. There is one reason why I brought the DJI RS Mini, and one reason only. My old gimbal was the DJI RS3 and it was a great gimbal, however it did get really heavy. On paper it doesn't actually seem that big of a difference. I think the DJI RS3 weighs in at about 1.2 kg, and with the horizontal plate on the DJI RS3 Mini, I think that this one comes in around just over 800 grams. Just by holding the gimbal on its own, you can really tell a difference. It's so much lighter than the DJI RS3, and that is the main reason why I brought it. However though, coming at a smaller weight does come at some cost, and there's actually quite a few of them just from the other DJI gimbals, such as the DJI RS3 Pro. One of them is obviously the payload. With it being a smaller gimbal, you're not going to be able to have as much weight on this gimbal. So I think the max payload DJI say you can get with this is 2 kg, whereas the DJI RS3 and the RS3 is 3 kg. So it's a whole kg difference. However, with it being 2 kg, DJI are actually promoting this as you can get a full frame camera, such as the Canon R6 Mark II, and a 24-70 f2.8. Even though it is marketed as it can handle that, and it can handle that, it is very difficult and it is a lot of pain to actually try and balance it onto this DJI RS3 Mini. However, I did try my EOS R with the 35mm prime, and I also tried it on the R6 Mark II, and it balanced absolutely perfectly. However, even with this small lens, the cage does not fit on. It's just too back heavy. This is probably the perfect setup for it. It's a pretty nice fit, this full frame EOS R and the 35mm. Now, even though I did want a lightweight setup, I did actually go and buy the DJI small rig RS3 handle for this gimbal, because it does actually have one of these attachments on the left of the gimbal to add accessories like this arm, like a monitor mount. However, it does not have one on the right side, which is a little bit of a bummer, but at least they added one at the end of the day. They did have to cut the cost some ways. Another thing that I really love about the RS3 Mini is they've actually kept the touchscreen that is on the RS3 Pro and the RS3, and it's really easy and simple to go through the menus. You can just press 2 buttons and you're instantly calibrating the gimbal. You can check what the balance is like, see if one of them's off a little bit. You can change modes really easily, and it might be a little bit smaller. I think it's 1.1 inches over the 1.8 inches on the other DJI RS3 gimbals, but it's still so nice to have. It's still nice and big, and it's just really handy and convenient to use when you're on the fly. If you're enjoying this video so far, why not hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And I don't know if you guys have noticed so far, but I am in a different room than normal, but it is a very work in progress room at the minute. As you can see, there's a lot of random balloons, and it's not painted how I want it, and I don't have the lights that I want. And it's because I've just moved into my brand new house with my girlfriend literally 2 weeks ago today. And yeah, it's just been absolutely non-stop packing, moving in, getting things sorted, and that's why I haven't been uploading to YouTube for the past month. So I'm sorry about that, and I will be getting back into the swing of things as the weeks come along now. This is my first video back, and I just can't wait to get back to it. Another great thing about the DJI RS3 Mini is the battery life, surprisingly. Now, I've not obviously tested this out because I've not really used this much, but apparently, even though it's got this small weight, it can actually last pretty much all day at 10 hours. And obviously, through times, you're not going to be only using the gimbal. You will be turning it off. You will be going like handheld maybe. Now, even though it's so small and lightweight as well, even if you have big hands like mine, you can get a full grip around the gimbal itself. If you find that a little bit uncomfortable, all you have to do really is hover it over the back button as well, which is probably what you're going to be doing most of the time anyway, to access the back wheel and this button as well. So you can really get a nice grip holding this gimbal, and obviously with it being smaller, it's easy to pack, easy to put in your bag, and just easier to travel with overall. The stabilization seems really smooth, even though it is light, because as you know, a lighter setup, the more shaky you get, the heavier the setup, the more stable you are. However, it's not the best gimbal in the world, like I've been going on. I've said a few negatives already, and actually going back to balancing the gimbal itself, like I said, how awkward it is. Even with a small payload like this, it can be awkward sometimes because it is actually missing the wheel that's on the RS3 and the RS3 Pro. That wheel is a lifesaver. It makes balancing so easy because you don't have to lift the camera up. It doesn't get stuck. And because it is so small as well, you can't actually pack it down fully because it just hits the side because of how far out you have the arm. So every time you do actually pack it down and want to reuse it again, you have to rebalance every single time. Just like the other gimbals as well, you have all the different modes. So you have pan forward, pan tilt forward, and also FPV mode and a custom mode. You can change your follow speed to slow, medium, fast, or custom. Again, you can access all of these settings on the app if you don't want to go through the touch screen. Now moving on to the price point, it is quite expensive, but if you actually think of how pricey gimbals are nowadays, with the RS3 coming in at about £550, the gimbal is coming in at £340 brand new, and you can find it at a discount at around £300 now and again. I think this is a really good purchase. If you are a creator, if you're an upcoming videographer, if you're a wedding videographer, you do get a lot of the good features that you find on the other gimbals, and it is just a lot smaller and a lot lighter. One thing it is missing as well is the auto lock-in. I use the RS3 Pro at work, and the auto lock-in is so nice once you get used to it. You don't have to remember to keep locking and unlocking the arms. It just does it for you, and it's just so easy. Not having that feature, not having a little dial, not having a 3 kg payload, all of these little things are really okay to have, considering how light this gimbal actually is. And as first impressions go, I think this gimbal is great. I'm really excited to use it on that wedding day. Maybe eventually, if I do get a Canon RF or a Sigma RF 24-70, if I can somehow squeeze that to the max payload on here, that would be amazing. But for now, I will just be using a 35mm prime, or maybe even a 50mm prime, just to see how the shots go, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if you did enjoy, why not hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. See you later.